Hi, my name is Theo, and you are listening to Between Two Trains. We bring you the best and brightest entrepreneurs in the North DeKalb area on the 1st and 15th of every month. Today, your co-hosts are Van Pappas and Eric Most. And now, Between Two Trains.
Welcome to another Between Two Trains. I am Van, your friendly financial planner.
And I'm Eric, your blossoming business banker.
Nice.
Happy springtime to you, Van.
Well, I hope it's happy. Obviously, we're in the middle of a very traumatic time in our country, but we felt like, Eric, I struggled with whether we should do this podcast or not. We had it on the books, and I felt like people still need to hear what's going on, because when we do come out of this, we want our business community to be stronger. So we've invited Andy Tan of Hopstix to come join us on today's podcast. And Andy was gracious enough, since our normal recording studio is closed down, to host us in his restaurant, because his restaurant is closed down. Andy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be on the show. It's great to do this.
Yeah, so Andy, let's start at the beginning, and we'll get up to what's going on today. So Hopstix, why Hopstix? What's the genesis of Hopstix?
Back at the time when I was, if I can, talk a little bit about, of course, where I came from. Back in 2009 when I started homebrewing, actually, the first 2 bottles of beer that I got from, this beer store, it's probably like the 2 best beers that I ever had. Like Hop City, if you guys know where's that. Having those 2 bottles just changed my mind.
Like a light bulb went off. You said,
Yep,
"Hey, I need to brew beer."
Yep, I need to brew, and it just so happened that they also sell the brewing kits, And I was thinking wow, it's cool, It's like you can actually brew your own beers, That's how it all started.
It started in your home.
What were you doing? I mean, day to day, what were you doing at that time?
At that time, I was an IT, person.
Okay.
So I worked, a job, and then also doing my side gigs.
So
yep.
After a hard day of IT work, you said, "I need a beer.
Yes.
Let me brew my own beer."
Yes.
And so when did you make the change from I'm brewing at home to I want to brew, and have a business out of it? When did that happen?
So in 2010, I joined the oldest homebrew club in Georgia called the COVID Hops. And throughout the years, I met a lot of amazing, talented brewers, and just slowly sharpened my brewing skill throughout the 5 years that I was, with the club. I'm still with the club. I've placed many, many medals, and just friends in the club just say, "Hey, why don't you start something?" And I didn't really think about that much, because I have my, my job and my business, and but it's the one thing that I always look forward to, that brew day of just mill your grain and mashing and smell that freshly mashing, almost like a cereal, and I just never get tired of the process. From that first batch that I remember that I did, up to a few weeks ago when I brew my, last batch here, for the time being at Hopstix, always feel that excitement. Yep. And, in 2015, I've lived in the area for close to 20 years now. Down in Chamblee, Tucker Road, in unincorporated DeKalb.
Okay.
And it's just one day I just drove past Piers, and I saw the building was available, and it's almost like love at first sight at that time, So I made an appointment, check out the building, and then I just thought, hey, this would be a cool place, to do it.
So when you did that, there were no other brew pubs or breweries in Chamblee, so that was kind of a big risk, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and I had many friends who actually say, "Why don't you do it, on the Beltline or Decatur or any more beer forward, how do you say that?
Some place that was
Right,
already
already
established.
established, right?
A good culture of drinkers.
Yeah,
going
yeah.
there.
But I mean, I've always loved this area. I mean, this city, especially. I've always think of Chamblee as the international gateway.
Absolutely.
And I remember like even Beaufort Highway. Back in the days when you only had Rance 99.
Yeah.
Little Malaysia.
We had We Love Buhai on
Right.
the show a couple of episodes ago, and yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the transformation that, I mean, even when I got this building up to this, up to today, right? I mean, just seeing like how the city has grown so much.
So for the listeners who are not familiar with Hopstix, it's located in downtown Chamblee, right at the corner of where Pierce comes into Peachtree Road. So you said 2015, you saw the building was for sale. It was like light bulb moment, love at first sight. Tell us about the process of getting the building, because this used to be an architectural firm.
Yeah, so Westall Architect, and shout out to Jeff Westall, my good buddy. So he bought the building in 2000, I believe, from the original owner, Randy, I believe, who actually ran like an auto parts store and service, in the back where the brewery is now, up to, 2000. So, I mean, it's such a privilege to actually meet Randy's wife. She came in one day after we just opened. This lady requested, to talk to me, and I came out, from the back. I was brewing, and, she's like, hey, I'm Randy's wife. And I just want to say, like, wow, what a incredible.
A lot different
yeah,
than
a
when
lot
she
different
was
than
here.
right. So it's definitely awesome to to meet a lot of good faces.
All right, so remind me, we actually opened the doors for business in 2016? 17.
Yeah.
17. Okay.
So got the building towards the end of 2015. Took my time to design it. And just to do it right.
Now, I would think that creating, a brewery requires a lot of capital investment.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how you went about as an entrepreneur? Those people are saying, "Hey, I want to do beer." What does that entail?
Yeah, I mean, definitely in terms of investment, I was blessed and I was fortunate to be able to do this from the get-go with my partners. So we bought the building outright, but I did have to make a hard decision when it comes to actually following my business plan. A lot of times, you have to spend a lot of capital, for the restaurant, the build out, the equipment, and then the operation. So I kind of took the chance, to be honest, to actually spend majority of the money, purchasing the building, and then just spend a lot of times here doing a lot of stuff myself, with one of my friends, back in the brewery. We built the brewery ourselves. So we're able to come out, great. Yeah.
So if you're listening to this, we're about a quarter of the way through the podcast, but I want to let you know, right now it's April 1st. We're right in the middle of the pandemic, and we are doing our part on Between Two Trains by social distancing. So even though we are in the same building, Andy is way over on the other side of the room. We've got a long cord here, so we're not actually sitting next to each other talking. But Eric, tell us, you're in the banking business. How is this pandemic affecting what's going on with when you deal with the small business owners? How is the banks handling that?
Every bank is reacting to this. Every business in the small business segment is being impacted one way or the other. Loan payment deferrals. Congress came together and passed a big bill to help protect payroll. And more details are coming out about that, but it's everybody's needs are different at a time like this, yet everybody has a need. So I think what's cool being in the financial sector during this time is you always think about how do you want to be remembered, and especially at a time like this. So reaching out, to every single one of my clients within the last 48 hours. It's something that I've done. Checking in, finding out what are your needs, what can I do to help? Here's the information that I do have, and here's a game plan for the next couple days.
Yeah.
And then adjusting that along the way. It's really a case-by-case basis, Van, and every bank is handling it differently, and every banker is handling it differently too. But it's a time where everybody needs to come together, and we'll get through this, but we're going to have to rely on each other.
Well, got to give a big shout out to one of our sponsors, the Chamblee Ace Hardware. Brian Fisk has done a great job of embracing the community, helping the community. In fact, the disinfectant wipes we have sitting on the table came from Ace Hardware. So, if y'all need supplies, Ace is still here for you. Andy, so we've got a love of brewing beer, but this is more than just a brewery. You serve food too. You have like an Asian fusion sort of thing going on. That had to have been a big decision to say, okay, yeah, I love making beer, but now I got to throw food into the mix. You've got a chef that you've partnered with, right?
Not partner, but a chef friend who I've known a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up, in a restaurant family. My dad used to own, first seafood restaurant, in Indonesia. Just growing.
Wait, he owned the first seafood restaurant in Indonesia?
Yeah. And a company. So
all the years Indonesia didn't have a seafohave restaurant?
No, back in the late 70s, apparently no.
No,
so,
wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have this picture.
You grew up in the restaurant.
Yes.
Thing.
And, that's the picture that I took. See the size of that crab that I was holding.
Wow. Is that you holding the crab?
Yeah, that was me.
We might have to post
like
that in the podcast.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So people can see that.
But, I'm a big foodie, definitely. I cook all the time. I used to actually own a restaurant up in Roswell as well.
Oh, really? What was the name of that?
So it's called the Thai of Sandy Springs. It's a Thai restaurant. My wife's from Bangkok, Thailand.
Okay.
So in 2004, after I finished college, just kind of like to continue my dad's feel, I feel like, hey, I want to kind of get into.
It was your way to honor him?
Right.
It's a great way. Yeah.
You laugh at that, but my father was also in the restaurant business.
Right.
And I'm not in the restaurant business. In fact, I'm the first one in my family because my grandfathers, my uncles, my father, they were all, as Greeks, you're typically in the restaurant business. And I sort of have somewhere in the back of my, maybe one day I need to be in the restaurant business just to honor him and my family and what they did. So I get that.
Yeah.
You go to enough restaurants, though.
I do go to enough restaurants.
You could say you're in the...
Right. Yeah, just growing up, I remember, walking through like the dining, like huge dining room and seeing people sharing food and, I love it. Yeah. And that kind of, same thing that I've, seen here at Hopstix, people sharing beers and food, is what brings, people together.
Now, in the 2 or 3 years that you've been here, I've noticed that you've changed the menu from time to time. Is that on purpose, or were you just trying new things, or do you have like a seasonal rotation? You say, okay, it's time to do this kind of stuff?
Yeah. So a few months back, we launched our seasonal, menu to include something more seasonal, but the idea behind the menu is, just covering most of, the dishes that I grew up, enjoying, eating. Like throughout Southeast Asia, you find a lot of skewers, or, known as satay, So that's just, what we're really doing with the Robata grill. We have a lot of items that represent that. And, with the seasonal items, we try to be creative as well, try to play with what we have. And we come up with even Tuna Thursday that has actually, be a big winner.
Nice.
Yeah, for what we do, a lot of people actually know us by Tuna Thursday, which is pretty incredible.
Right.
Where, it's the day that we brought in like the whole bluefin tuna. And as we all know, bluefin is the highest grade of, tuna. And it's an incredible, predator like fish, it's incredible if you see it in person.
A couple hundred
With that-
pounds.
Yep, 200 pounds.
Yeah. So what's cool, if you've never been here, the kitchen area is open. So as a customer, you can look in and view the kitchen. So you can see that tuna as it gets cut up.
Yep.
Which is not, you don't get that everywhere you go.
Yeah, a lot of kitchens don't want you to see what they're doing. So was that something that you challenged with, or you said from the get-go, we want to make this open air space where, the customer is really part of the experience?
Yeah, no, that's part of the plan. I've worked in the kitchen before as a chef as well. And all I had was stainless steel wall, front, back, left, right. So with this, I want to do something different. I want to show people, first of all, we don't have anything to hide.
Sure.
And second, just to enjoy that kitchen activities, like the cooking and seeing the flames. So.
And you can also see the big vats.
Correct.
Of beer where the beer is being seen. And it's ironic. I'm telling you, if you guys have never been to Hopstix, I would highly recommend, because it's ironic that this used to be an architectural building, because the design in this place is
it's unique.
Something that you can enjoy when you don't have beer, you don't have food. You could just look, and it's very nicely designed.
Well, speaking of beer, Andy's graciously handed us a beer to sample. So, remind me, what am I drinking here?
So you're drinking a super dry lager. It's a dry lager that I think most of people know. Like the Asian dry lager.
Tell us about the process. So, from the time you started this batch to the time it's now in my hand, how does that work? How long does it take you to do a batch? And
right. So it depends. If I'm brewing lager, and I like to use like the term like grain to glass. Usually for ale it'll take anywhere from 2 and 2.5 weeks. For lagers I'll give it longer time, sometimes up to 4.5 to 5 weeks, if not more. It just really depends, and I don't ever rush my beers. I always let them ferment properly and crash them, and then serve them when they're ready. And it makes a huge difference, because yeast, as we all know, it's a living microorganism, just like us. You have to give them time, and
time to grow.
Right, time to grow, time to clean up after themselves. And because, during the fermentation process, right, yeast do actually give out, like esters and some, what we call byproducts of fermentation. And some are desirable, some aren't. So those that aren't, you just give them time to
work through
to process it. Exactly. Yeah.
So how many gallons of beer do you have in those tanks at any given time?
At a given time, so we have a 5-barrel brewing system here. It's exactly what I wanted to do, because, coming from home brewing background, my kettle was 5 gallons, and, it allows me to, turn the beers rotates through the beer a lot faster and keeps them fresher, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Not every beer is going to move as fast as IPA, definitely. So with our size, that's not an issue at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's really all just consumption here. You're not bottling or packaging this and selling to other locations or anything like that.
So we do cans and sell cans over the counter as well. We do distribute, but only to selected restaurants.
So if I went to another restaurant, I might be able to get an Andy Tan beer.
Yes. So in particular right now, there's a restaurant in Grand Park, called Hado Hado, which, my friends own, and we have, our beers over there.
Okay.
And we've been also in talk with Jane over at Food Terminal. So,
okay.
Just before
obviously
all this happened.
we love Food Terminal because it's right here in our backyard. Yeah. But to our listeners down in Grant Park, go check that out and ask for the Andy Tan special. Is there a particular...
so we have 2 beers over there. We have the our house IPA, or known as Kung Fu Hops, and the Juhua, which is
So on their menu,
ale.
Does it say Kung Fu Hops?
Yes,
Hopstix?
it
like
does.
People see that it's from here.
Yep.
Nice. Well, Well, we are almost up to our break for a commercial. When we come back, we're going to play our ever fun game, Can You Ace It? And we'll ask Andy a bunch of questions and see if he can win the Chamblee Ace Hardware gift card brought to you by the Chamblee Ace Hardware. So stay tuned.
If you recently got divorced, you may be wondering how to pick up all of the financial pieces. Is it time to make a new budget, new goals, and get a new game plan with your investments? What about the best way to save money on your taxes? Take control of your money future. Go to oxygenfinancial.net to schedule a complimentary meeting today. Go to oxygenfinancial.net to get started right now.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, an affiliate of Kestra Investment Services. Oxygen is not affiliated with Kestra.
Welcome back to Between Two Trains. We come to you on the 1st and the 15th of every month, and hopefully we will be back in 2 weeks. We'll have to see what's going on with this coronavirus situation. But in the meantime, we've got Andy Tan here talking to us about the wonderful business in downtown Chamblee called Hopstix, and Eric is going to lead us off on our Can You Ace It game. Go for it, Eric.
Our fun game, Can You Ace It? We're going to test the knowledge here. And so let's just jump right in. It's multiple guesses.
Right, let's try it. Let's do it.
So question 1, China has about 1.4 billion people. How many pairs of chopsticks do they use in a year? Either A, 45 billion pairs, B, 120 billion pairs, or C, 365 billion pairs.
Ooh.
Oh, man. That's
Those
a
are all
tough
billions
one.
with the
Yeah.
All billions. Billions and billions. So
It's a lot of
China
chopsticks.
has 1.4 billion people. About how many chopsticks do they use in a year? 45, 120, or 365?
I would go with the max 365, right? Is it?
No.
Oh, man.
It's actually only 45 billion because China has implemented a reusable tax. So if you don't
nice.
reuse your chopsticks in China, you get taxed
I
more.
definitely need to do my research next time on
Yeah.
that. But, I mean, I've seen people gone through their
45
chopsticks
billion
like,
is a lot of
like,
chopsticks.
yeah, I mean, even here at Hopstix, we've gone through crazy numbers of chopsticks. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely be
You
following
have an
the
idea
Chinese
how many in a
move.
year you use?
Not on top of my head.
Not 45
yeah.
billion.
No, definitely not.
We might have to impose
Right.
a disposable tax
There
at
you go.
Hopstix. All right. So we're 0 for 1.
0 for 1. Question number 2. What is the difference between Pan-Asian food and Asian fusion food? Either A, one is prepared in a frying pan and one is prepared in a food processor. B, Asian fusion is a blend of 2 or more Asian cultures in the item, while Pan-Asian might combine with recipes from other continents. Or C, it depends on if the cook is Asian or not.
That depends on if the cook is Asian? Really?
That is how the question reads.
Okay.
That is
All
how the
right,
question reads.
definitely a B for me.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding.
You are correct.
That is correct. So you know this better than others because it's the
Yeah,
concept
tell
for
us
this restaurant.
exactly what is you call yourself Asian fusion. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, well, just exactly what I think the answer said, right? I mean, we're actually combining the flavors throughout Asia, anywhere from Japan through Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, Thailand. So that's how I would describe like fusion would be.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Do you have 2 areas that are your favorites, or like what do you like? Like, if I was to come to your house and have a meal, what would you be eating?
Definitely Thai.
I like Thai.
Yeah, I love spicy, very, very hot food. So, that's my thing.
Can you tell us, if you weren't eating at Hopstix, what restaurant would you eat at?
Yeah.
If you don't want to, that's okay.
No. I mean,
What's your favorite non-Hopstick restaurant?
I've frequented, like Sakondang Tofu House, a lot, and also Mamak, like Malaysian food,
Okay.
And food terminal as well. But also the Dai Loi for their Vietnamese pho.
Nice.
Yeah, those are really good.
Pretty much you've hit everything up and down Bickford Highway.
Right, pretty much.
All right, one more question. All right, so he's 1 for 1. So if he gets this, he wins the gift card.
1 for 2.
1 for 2.
So if he gets
this,
you get
All
the
right,
gift card.
let's do it.
A lot on the line. A lot on the line. All right. Asians eat far more fruits and vegetables than people in the West. Which of the following is correct? They eat about twice as much dietary fiber. The number one vegetable eaten is cabbage. Or this causes bowel movements to be twice the size of Western ones.
Wait, read the whole thing again. You lost me on that one.
That's like 4 questions.
All right, read the question.
And I'm just reading it as it was written, and an undisclosed person handed me this piece of paper. Asians eat far more fruits and vegetables than in the West. Which of the following is correct?
Okay, so A.
A, they eat about twice as much dietary fiber. B, the number one vegetable eaten is cabbage. Or C, this causes bowel movements to be twice the size of Western ones.
Seriously?
All right, I want to.
All right.
I want to.
Excuse yourself.
Or the bathrooms like at Hopstix.
I would say A.
A. Ding, 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 ding.
Yay!
Correct.
Yeah, correct. In fact, all 3 answers are correct.
Oh, okay.
Cabbage is the number one vegetable eaten in
Right.
China.
Yep.
They eat a lot of cabbage in China. And yeah,
Love cabbage.
odd fact, apparently because of more vegetables and fruits,
It does.
bowel movements
Yeah.
are bigger. So
The system works.
I
Yeah.
guess so. Well, Andy, thank
Yeast
you.
is just like us. Sometimes there's byproduct.
Thank you so much. We'll put this gift card right here at the edge
Oh,
of
I
the table. and
truly
we can wipe
appreciate
it off with a Clorox
that.
wipe from Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
And then if you have any needs,
Love going
please
there.
go by and see Ace Hardware because they're, what's the slogan, Eric?
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
Now, question
Yeah.
for all our listeners, and we don't know what the environment's going to be like when this podcast airs. Is Hopstix doing any to-go orders, or they do it? What is the scenario there during this?
Well, this
time?
is going to,
Great
so we're
question.
recording this on the 1st,
Yeah.
and we're going to actually air this later today on the 1st. So it will come out today.
hot diggity.
So, yeah, right now, Hopstix is closed for business, right?
Yeah. And folks, it's
How,
not.
how long
it's,
has it been? A week?
A week now, and April 1st is not April Fool.
It's not an April
It's
Fool's
not April
joke.
Fool's,
You
right,
really are
yeah.
closed.
Yeah, we are. Until we can again, figure out a safe way to, to get our, beer, food, to customers, and we're definitely coming up discussing a plan on what to do, but it's tough. I mean, I love my team. They're like my family.
Yeah, what's going on with your employees?
Everybody, is just sitting tight right now, and the plan is to, of course, have everybody back, and we will. So we're definitely doing. We did try the takeout model for a week, and I just want to say thank you to all those that come out to support us during that week. But it's just following the CD guidelines, to serve no more than a customer a day. I mean, at a time.
It's tough to have one person at a time come in.
Right, exactly. So again, we just have to relook at everything and make sure that we can make sure everybody's safe, and that is
Maybe there's
our
a way you could do some
priority
kind of delivery.
right now. Yeah. So that's definitely on the table as well.
Well, at minimum, those of you listening to this, we need to support Andy and Hopstix. As he said, he will be back open when everything's resolved. But in the meantime, I believe people can go to your website and order gift cards. Is that not correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so y'all order some gift cards. You'll use them once he's reopened. But in the meantime, at least it'll help him stay afloat until we get past this mess.
He's still brewing beer, so it'll be ready when everything opens
beer
up.
will be
Yeah,
ready.
beers will keep flowing.
Yeah. So, we still have a few minutes. Andy, let's go back to when you first opened. So you said you've been in the area a long time, 20 years. I've been in the area a long time, more than 20 years. And, after 2007, 2008, there really wasn't a lot going on in downtown Chamblee. In fact, I think the only restaurant we had was Vintage Pizza. and now we've got, up and
Yeah.
down Peachtree Road, all kinds of stuff. Can you talk a little bit about how that's helped your business and what you think about the community and its growth?
I think it's great. I mean, again, just exactly like you said, I actually stumbled, on southbound, back in 2015, and I met, my friend Dennis Lang.
Sure.
And that's how it all started. And I was like, wow, this is a cool place, and and I think that which is why I feel like I think it's a perfect spot for Hopstix and just to see how many restaurants have come into the area, including Blue Top. I think it's a great pocket, and definitely we've created a destination, and the city itself has grown as well, so seeing all this sidewalk, all the works that the city has been doing, I think we'll just continue to add to that.
Since you've opened, we obviously got another brewer just up the street, the Contrast Artisan Ales, who came on, I don't know, episode 30-something. I don't remember the number. How is that? Has it been good to have? And by the way, we also are supposed to be getting a distillery.
Yes.
That's opening. I don't know what the scheduled time on that is, especially now with everything going on. But is that really better for brewers to have more of y'all in the area?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't ever, and I don't think anyone in the brewing industry has ever viewed each other as a competitor. I mean, it's a symbiotic relationship. I think we always complement each other. I mean, just look at Asheville, right? I mean, such a small town. I mean, how many breweries they have?
Yeah.
the
Another
more,
good example
the better.
is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
That too.
They've got a
Right.
thing called NODA. Are you familiar with that, Eric? There's a section. It's like North Davidson or something, and they call it NODA. And there's like 3 or 4 breweries. You can just walk from one to the other.
I've been there. It's pretty impressive. And you're right. I mean, I think it's a destination, an attraction point, and it's a proof of concept that what you're doing is the market wants it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I can't wait for Modern Art Distillery, right?
Do you have any insight into what they're doing? Because I've
Yeah.
reached out to him about coming on the podcast. He said he wants to come on the podcast, but we haven't connected since all this has gone down.
I met Seth here. One day he was having lunch, and this was a little over a month ago. And then, he was saying that he was breaking ground. I think he was going to.
He's moving forward.
Right, moving forward.
Nice.
But just looking forward to definitely.
What if there was one thing you would like to see Chamblee do, or in Chamblee? Is there anything that you're like, man, it would be great if we had this? Is there something that you'd like as both a business owner and close enough resident?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should once, of course, we put this behind us, to do like a block party. I think that would be cool. We've actually talked to Blue Top, Southbound, and
block off Peachtree Street and throw
right.
a party.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I like that idea.
Yeah. We need to start working on that. Who do we need to talk to? Maybe we should reach out to the city manager, see what you can do.
Make sure golf carts can go.
There you go. Well, we've almost run out of time here. Andy, any parting words to the listeners about, I think we've told them, go to your website. What the website address is it just hopstix.com?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's hopstix.com. I just, wish everyone, well, stay safe, and we'll get through this. And thank you again for, the amazing supports that, the listeners, who you guys are, that have been just, supporting us throughout this.
Eric? Another episode in the books?
Another episode in the books, and forward this to your friends who may have some time on their hands.
Yeah.
It's a nice break.
I suggest, for those of you who are new to the podcast, we have 50 or so previous episodes, so go back and listen to some of the early ones. Well, maybe not the first couple because they were really rough. I didn't know what I was doing, but we definitely had some great entrepreneurs on the podcast, and now's a great time to say, hey, I'm stuck at home. Let me listen to these podcasts. So thanks for listening, and we'll be hopefully back in 2 weeks.